What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? New show alert. We have the new season of the Real Housewives of Dallas starting, and I actually watch Dallas. I don't look at the Real Housewives of New York, and I don't look at the OC, but I do look at Dallas and Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Potomac. So the new season has started with season 3, episode 1, and we start off with Brandy adopting a baby. She's adopting a baby boy. If you guys watched the show, you know last season her and her husband were trying to have a baby. She had a miscarriage, and they were going to try for one more, but she was having some fertility issues, and I think they decided that that was just going to be it. That they weren't going to be able to have another baby. And then Stephanie, who was Brandy's best friend, if you don't know, she calls her and says, "Hey, you guys interested in adopting a baby boy?" A friend of hers is runs an adoption agency and had a baby. He was a baby boy where adoption had fallen through, and so now my okay, I have so many questions about this. First of all, anybody out there who's ever adopted, please let a sister know. Is that how adoption works? Somebody just call you and say, "I got a baby, you want it?" And then do they get the baby? Because they got the baby. I mean, I know they have money, and I know there's a lot of money involved in adoption, but I thought that the adoption process was a long process, especially in the United States, which is why a lot of people go outside of the United States. Y'all let a sister know. But anyway, so the other thing that was crazy was she said that her friend runs one of the biggest adoption agencies in, I don't know if she said in Texas or whatever. Wouldn't he have a lot of baby boys? And this baby boy just happened to have red hair like them. Y'all know that's only 10% of the population, people who are natural redheads. But her and her husband are both redheads. Talking about it was meant to be. Yeah, it was meant to be, alright. Anyway, so we see Brandy with the baby and, her baby boy, and she's taking him shopping because she said it happened so quick. Like, it happened in a matter of, 2 weeks' time. So she's out buying stuff like strollers, basic stuff. That whole situation just don't make no sense to me, but okay. We're going to go along with it. Then we see Leanne and Deandra are at a meditation class. Now, y'all remember, Leanne is the crazy bitch. If you don't watch this show, Leanne crazy is a bed bug, right? And Deandra is her friend. The thing I like about Deandra is Deandra will call Leanne out on her shit. Like, she really will. But she's at a meditation because she's there to try to meditate to figure out some ways to work out her anger because she wants to stop doing and saying dumb stuff, and she wants the girls to be friends with her again, and hopefully this will help her be able to focus and work out her issues. So the guy says, why, so they get ready to meditate or whatever, and the guy says, well, why are you here? And Leanne starts talking about her amygdala, saying that that's a part of the brain that absorbs rage, and that's what causes people to have these outbursts. Deandra was like, Leanne, just own your shit. Like, that ain't your amygdala, that's just you. That's you and your anger. Like, don't even start that shit. But anyway, they end up having, they do I was gonna say mediation. They do the meditation class, and it seems like they like both of them are like, well, let's hope that works, honey. Let's hope that helps you out. So the big event this episode is it Leandra or Deandra? Anyway, is having an anniversary party. Her and her husband have an anniversary party every year. Sort of sound like Jack and Christy, Jackie and her husband Christy, Chris Christie. No, that's the governor. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They said they have an anniversary party every year because, in Dallas, the divorce rate is so high that, they just lucky to stay together. They happy that they still together, and they're going to celebrate it every year. And her husband even said, if you planning something, you can't. He said, you planning, a celebration every year, you ain't got time to break up. And I remember Jackie Christie saying, if you planning a wedding, you don't have time to plan a divorce. So I guess it's that same philosophy. But we see Stephanie and Brandy hanging out at the baby place, doing some shopping. And Brandy says that she's not going to go to the anniversary party. She said because Deandra's been talking a lot of trash about her. And she said, I'm not going to be fake and go to her anniversary party when I know that she seems to have problems with me and she doesn't like me. Like, I'm not going to do that. Now, Which I understand. I can definitely understand and respect the fact that you don't want to be around somebody that you think is fake. And of course, y'all know Bravo. They started showing headlines of Leandra saying that Brandy was addicted to Percocet and no, not Percocet, Adderall, Adderall, and um, something else that happened during the off season. And so she said, she just has a problem with me. And so, I just don't feel like we need to, I don't need to be at her party. Cool. And Stephanie is like, oh man, like I really want you to come. And Leanne is going to be there. And Stephanie is worried because Leanne's going to be there. And Brandy was like, that's another reason why I ain't going because I don't really feel like being around Leanne crazy ass. So that's what they talking about that. So then we see Leandra and her husband. They're at the caterers. They're going through the different menu items. They're doing the wine tasting and they're doing the samples of the different entrees and appetizers and all that. And he's from the East Coast, so he was like, yeah, I gotta have me some crab cakes. Because she said, I know he's gonna want crab cakes. And then he said, yeah, he said, I'm an East Coast guy. We gotta have our blue crab. I was like, okay, because I'm always ready for some blue crab, y'all. Y'all know me. I can eat it every day. And so then they start going through the guest list. Well, come to find out, again, from last year's storyline, Leandra and her mother owns this cosmetic company. And Leandra is supposed to be running it. And every time Leandra gets ready to run the company, her mother decides that she's going to change her mind and she's not ready to give the company up. Well, at the end of last season, supposedly her mother was ready to give it up. And her mother physically gave her the keys to the office saying, look, this is yours now. I'm handing the business over. But then her mother reneged. She said, surprise, surprise, my mother changed her mind and she's not ready to give over the business, to the point where we have butt heads, to the point where we're not even speaking now. She's not even speaking to me. So when they were going over the guest list, she was like, yeah, I'm going to invite my mom. I mean, she's still my mother. Like, I'm going to invite her. We'll be cordial and we'll fight on Monday morning. Like we're going to enjoy the party. And her husband is like, look, that's still your mother. Y'all don't have to, have no ill feelings at the party. Just enjoy the party and deal with it later, And she said, that's what I'm going to do. So then we see Cameron and her family. This was the most awkward scene the whole time, the weirdest scene. Cameron is talking to her husband. Last season, Cameron is Elle Woods. If Elle Woods was a real person that didn't go to law school, that is Cameron. She wears pink all the time. She's got 2 kids. Her husband, of course, is the money maker. And last year she started Sparkle Dog because she wanted to make pink dog food. Pink dog food. So she made her pink dog food, but now she's saying how it's really not turning as big of a profit because her husband invested. But her husband was like, look, if this doesn't work within XYZ amount of time, you're going to let it go and you're going to come back and become a full-time mom. And so he's complaining in the scene. The kids are running around. It looks like they're in their playroom or something. And they're running around, climbing on the couches while they're sitting there trying to talk. And she's saying that she just needs to find a distributor. Like she said that you can find it. She said only a few boutiques carry it and it's on Amazon. She said, but she just needs to find a distributor who will take it into all the major chains so that, they can get out there and get a bigger visibility. And her husband is like, just let it go. Come on back home. You're not spending enough time with the kids. You're neglecting the kids. And he gonna bring the kids into it, talking about something. Don't y'all want mommy to spend more time with y'all? And the kids are just, like I said, the kids are jumping around, climbing over them and climbing all over them and everything. Talking about some, yes, mommy, we want to snuggle with you every day. And then one of the oldest girls, she keeps saying, this is so awkward. This is just so awkward. And I'm sure she's talking about the cameras being there while they having this whole conversation, right? Anyway, so then we see Leanne and her boyfriend. Now they got engaged, Rich, fiance I should say. They got engaged last season, but they have not set a wedding date, nor have they started planning for the wedding. And Leanne is like, of course people are starting to ask questions about what's up with the wedding. And, she said, I don't really want to pressure him. I don't want to push him because it took him this long to propose to me. So I don't want to pressure him. She said this will be he's been married 3 times already. And, I'm scared that he's just going to be like, well, forget about a wedding. I'm cool with the way things are. That's always a red flag. Like, if you are scared to even bring it up to him, there's a problem. That's a red flag. But anyway, So she was talking about how she really wants to talk to Carrie. Carrie's another um, lady on the show who last season she threatened to kill Carrie with her bare hands, and she told everybody that Carrie's husband was gay and that he was accepting favors in the parking lot of the gay bar and just crazy stuff. And she was like, well, I know Carrie's going to be at the anniversary party, and I really think that the two of us need to sit down and sort of clear the air before we get to the party, and it's awkward. And he's like, yeah, all right. She's like, I don't know what to do. He was like, call her. Call her. If she answers the phone, ask her to meet you for lunch. If she doesn't answer the phone, leave a message. If she says no, she says no. I mean, men are like, it's black or white. Like, I don't see the problem. Like, we here. It's here. It's this, and that. Boom. And so she calls, and you hear Carrie's hesitation on the phone, but Carrie agrees to meet with Leanne. She agrees to meet with Leanne, but you can hear the hesitation on the phone. Um, we have a scene with Brandy and Stephanie, but that's when they're talking about the stuff I already told y'all that they was talking about. So we see Leanne meet up with Carrie. Now, Carrie, from last season, Carrie works with her husband, who's a top plastic surgeon in Dallas, and she was a nurse, or she is a nurse, and that's how they met. She was his nurse, and they built a relationship or whatever. And so she wanted to cut back on her hours in the business, but instead of cutting back, she started her own business within his practice, where she does laser techniques now. So she does, like, he does like the full blown plastic surgery, but she does laser treatments, that type of thing. And so she's talking about, that's what's going on with her these days. So her and Leanne are talking, and basically Leanne is apologizing for what she said last season, and she really wants them to get back into a good place or whatever. And Carrie is like, I accept your apology, but I'm still angry, and I'm not really ready for us to get back to being girlfriends. She's like, when I see you, I can speak. I don't have an attitude. I don't have to be nasty. She said, but I ain't ready for us to be on the let's go out shopping or let's get together and chit chat. She's like, I'm not at that place yet. She said, and I appreciate my growth. She said, because last year I would have said okay, knowing I really wasn't over it, knowing I was really still angry with you. But this year I'm not that person anymore. I'm going to tell you, you know what? I appreciate your apology. I appreciate you coming to me, but I'm not ready to move forward. I'm okay with where we are, and I accept your apology, but I'm not ready for us to start hanging out again and being all buddy buddy, which I can respect. And of course, Leanne is sitting there looking like, oh, okay, well, okay then, because Leanne, I guess, was expecting her to be like, okay, yay, all right, we're good again, And, so, but Carrie was like, when I see you, it'll be cool, but, that's just what it is. So we get to the part. There's a little nothing scene with Leandra and her husband's family. She's saying, about right now with her and her mom not being real cool, that she's found herself becoming closer to his family. So it's a little scene with them because they're all in town for the party. Staying at her house. Because, she's got a mansion. Why not? Why stay at a hotel when I got 5 bedrooms? So they're at the party doing the seating arrangement. And she's, making sure she's seating certain people with certain people and not with certain people and all that good stuff. And it looks like a really nice party, because she's having it at her friend's house who has this huge mansion, which is clearly, I guess, bigger than her mansion, And they're having the party there. And everybody shows up except for Brandy. Excuse me. Now, here's my problem with Brandy. Brandy, you knew you weren't going to the party days ago because you said it to Stephanie. But you wait until the night of the party to send her a text saying you're not coming. That's wrong. That's not proper etiquette. For a party of this magnitude where that is definitely a RSVP situation. It's you treat that like a wedding. They're having a cater, they're having a sit down dinner, they're having all of these things. Like, you knew better than to just at the last minute, the night of, talk about you not coming to the party. That was disrespectful. Regardless, that was disrespectful. Then, my other problem, she asked everybody to wear black and gold. Everybody was supposed to have on black and gold except for her. Obviously, she had on this beautiful pleated dress that had it had black gold, but it also had red in it. Because everybody was only supposed to wear black and gold, so she would stand out. That damn camera gonna show up in a pink and black dress. Now, I know you like pink, I understand you love Pink, but that was disrespectful for you not to respect the wishes of the people throwing a party. If you go to an all white party, you show up in all white. You go to an all black party, you show up in all black. If there's a dress code, you respect the dress code. You can go one day without wearing pink. That ain't gonna kill you to have not have on pink for one damn day. Anyway, those just my two pet peeves. So the party looks nice or whatever. They have a cocktail hour. Everybody's mingling. They got finger food, and they've got drinks are flowing and all that. And everybody looks really nice and all that good stuff. Her mama is talking slam shit the whole time. Her mother talking about this is boring. I hope we're gonna do something. She said, when people have to celebrate they've only been married for 4 years. Why are we having this big party for 4 years? Must be trouble in paradise. I was engaged 14 times. She is just talking slam shit about her daughter the whole party. Like real catty the whole time. So they finally go and have the sit down dinner. And she done put Leanne next to Stephanie and Carrie. She said, well, I just think they need to spend more time together without Brandy. Because Stephanie and Brandy are like, if you look at Real Housewives of Potomac, Stephanie and Brandy are like Giselle and Robin. They are best friends. They're always together. And a lot of people feel like Brandy is like a bad influence on Stephanie. And when Brandy's not around, Stephanie acts one way. But then when Brandy's around, Stephanie acts a different way. It's very similar to that relationship. But they had a really good conversation at dinner. Leanne was drinking a little bit and Stephanie was drinking a little bit. So, whenever drinks are involved, everybody's happy and everybody's having a good time and everybody's laughing and joking. So, dinner went really well. Leanne was a little loud, but not loud like disruptive to the party loud. But just, if I were at the table with her, I'd have been like, can you bring it down a little bit? But it was a good conversation and it was a good party. She stood up and gave a toast and like I said, all the girls were getting along, but y'all know it's just the first episode. Y'all know that ain't gonna last. It's gonna be some shiznit for the rest of the season. But yeah, so that's how it went down. It was a good evening. It was a good night. It was a good so far. So we'll see. We'll see how this ends up going down. For the rest of the season. Oh, I'm sorry. That's where it ended. It ended because Deandra said they were getting ready to have a wedding that Rich and Leanne were getting ready to get married. Like we waiting on y'all. Y'all taking too long, so we just gonna have the wedding now. And y'all know Rich was sitting there looking like a deer caught in headlights, like, oh shit, what is going on here? But of course, that's where it ended. So we'll see what happens next week. Anyway, that's your Real Housewives of Dallas. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.